Hey, 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 what do you know? What do you say? It's Lou. How you doing? We've been going live this week, every weekday at 11 a.m. Eastern. We've been talking about tools and video gear and things like that. We've been talking about webcams and microphones and lighting. And today we're going to talk a bit about lighting. Now, yesterday or Monday, we talked about webcams. Right now, I'm using the Lumina HD webcam, and they have two modes. One is like the super duper mode, which I'm on right now. And if I can find my controls, I can show you that. So this is called Lumina Plus. There's another mode called Lumina Raw, and I'll switch to that in a moment. However, I just want to make sure my mic's working here. Check, check, check. I think so. Okay, so the Lumina webcam HD, actually it's a 4K webcam, and you can see where if I move around, the camera will try to follow me. So it's like an AI camera. So it's kind of weird because again, the camera's going to try to focus in on me and keep me in frame here. So even if I move too close, it's going to zoom out a little bit on its own. I can also change the framing on my own as well. Now, right now, I have I have no background. This is a real white wall. Usually, I have my green screen there. So again, I can fool around with the sharpness and make it ridiculously sharp, or I can soften it up a bit. Then, if I go back to the Lumina um, RAW camera, which I'll do now, you'll see a little bit of a difference here. Um, so again, I have a lot of control. I know we talked about webcams on Monday, but I just wanted to kind of show you how much control you have over here of everything from the contrast to the sharpness. And then if I go back to my Lumina other camera, all right, we'll do that. You'll see the difference in a minute. So this is sort of framed. It's got this little black outline frame here. And we'll go back to the raw, and you should see that in a moment. Oh, it's not changing back. It doesn't want to change back. All right, that's fine. Anyway, so that's the webcam I'm using, Lumina. I like it. Again, I can change the white balance. I just have a white wall behind me today. I can change the warmth. Oh my God, I've got a tan. The brightness, the exposure. I have my really bright lights on, so if I want to bring the lighting down a little bit, I can do that. Saturation. So it gives you full control over the image that you have, and this is the Lumina. So moving on now to lighting. I'm going to share my screen and show you some stuff on Amazon as far as lighting goes. And I'm using this, pretty much any light will do, but I'm using LED lights. I'm using these new, um, they are LED lights. I'll show you exactly what they are in a minute, the GVMs. But again, what I wanted to show you is you can really get any setup that you want. These are soft boxes. I think these are probably more for traditional photography, but I have used these in the past for video as well. The problem with these softbox lights, even though they're only about $100, is that they take up a shit ton of room. They're not heavy, but they're very awkward, and they take up a lot of space. So if I just look in here under studio lighting, or if I just pull one of these up in Amazon, it'll give me other options as well. Don't make a liar out of me, Amazon. Come on. So if I can go in here and search for studio lighting, it's going to show me all these different options. So you've got your soft boxes here for under $100. You've got some desktop lights, which are really inexpensive. But I prefer the GVM. I'll even put it in here. This is the one. GVM LED lights. Yes, they're $200, but they are really good, and they have all these controls on the back of them. And in addition to all that, it has a, not sure if you can see this, it has a remote control on your phone. So I can control these lights from my phone. Let me go back to full screen here so you can see what I mean. So if I can change the brightness of the lights, you can kind of see the temperature of the lights. You can sort of see it adjusting here as I move my phone. I can change the brightness of these lights so I can really wash everything out, or I can bring it way down. So I can control the brightness and the temperature, and I can also control the color. Now, again, I have a white wall back here, so these lights are in front of me, so they're making everything that color. If I was going to just light the backdrop, I'd have a regular light on me. But again, I can change the overall color. And again, this is if I was lighting, you know, more traditionally from, if I was lighting the backdrop separately. Ultimately, you want to do that. But right now, I just have my lights in front of me, and I'm doing everything. I can also do goofy effects like lightning or disco or cop car or party. Woohoo! So the lights are really flexible and adjustable via remote control on your phone. So I like these GVM lights. Again, I'm going to bring them up on screen and show you here. Share my screen. Oops. There we go. So the GVM lights, they're about 200 bucks. Really, really flexible, very light. They don't get hot. So I like these. Again, a lot of control with these. GVM are the ones that I'm using. I have two of them in front of me here. You can adjust them manually, or you can adjust them on your phone, which is kind of cool. So you can use your phone as a remote control for these lights. So those are the ones I use. But again, you know, there are many, many different kinds of lights. And if we go to the GVM site here, you can see, you know, there's a gazillion ways to do this. I prefer LED studio lights. Again, they're soft, they're adjustable. You can have a lot of control over them. You don't necessarily need anything this fancy, but this is what I'm using. These guys at GVM even have teleprompters and all kinds of different lights. But I just go to Amazon and try to find, you know, if I search for studio lighting, I get a lot of different options here, from softbox lights to GVMs. These newer lights are the same thing. Basically, you can control the temperature and the intensity and the brightness and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of different ways to go with lighting, but the main thing is to just have adequate lighting. Now, right now, I don't have these lights set up properly at all, so you can see shadows and stuff like that. Normally, I would have a key light, which is the main light coming from the front, a fill light to get rid of this shadow, and a backlight to give me more dimension and more depth. But I don't have them set up that way. They're really just, you know, tossed out in front for the moment because I've been playing with the backgrounds and stuff like that. So that's lighting. And again, if I use my green screen, if I pull down the green screen here, which I have nailed to the wall like a projector. So now I'm on my green screen, the camera's adjusting back to, and if I go into my settings for, there's my Lumina Raw camera. If I go into my settings for virtual background, I can add a background and tell it that I have a green screen, and it'll be pretty forgiving in terms of the light. So I'm getting a little bit of green bounce from the green screen, but overall, you know, I can pick a background here, any background pretty much, and then because I've got my green screen and it's really well lit, I'm not going to have any problems with fading or disappearing or any of that kind of stuff. So it gives you a pretty good image. So the thing with lighting is even adequate lighting if you're using a green screen, it's even more important. Again, I prefer the LED lights here that I have, which again, there's all different brands, but I use GVM lights. They're like this. This is a slightly more affordable version of it. And I just have two of them right in front of me, in front of the camera. So, I mean, ideally, you're going to have 3-point lighting, a key light, a fill light, and a backlight. But for my purposes, and again, because I'm using a green screen and it's pretty forgiving, I just use the two lights in front of me. So that's what we have for lighting for now. Go back here for a second. And let's see what my image is looking like here when I take this lighting out. So yeah, so it doesn't look too bad. Again, I'm getting a little bit of bounce, but I can adjust that. I can go into my settings on StreamYard, and again, I can go to virtual background and I can say none. So that's my regular green screen background here. Still a little bit of a shadow, but you know, it's like I said, it's pretty forgiving. And then I can put a background in here that I've uploaded and put behind me, so I can have the studio or the Coliseum or just generic stuff or an office. And I can also adjust the intensity. So if I feel like, oh, I'm getting too much, oh my God, I disappeared. Okay, beam me up, Scotty. There we go. But again, if I go all the other way, then the green screen just disappears. So I try to find a spot in the middle somewhere where it looks pretty normal. So I can have my big logo behind me or pretty much anything, even the slide for this live broadcast. So that's lighting makes all the difference in the world, especially if you are using a green screen. So it's really all about adequate, even lighting. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Party time. Party face. No, I thought I could put a party face on here. And then again, I just usually go to either B&H Photo or Amazon, look up studio lighting, or you can go direct to the GVM site. But I like Amazon because it's very reliable. And this one is really a lot for, some of this is for photography and high-end lighting. You can definitely get away with lights for $100 to $200. I don't know about these desktop ones because I don't use those, but as far as the actual softbox and or LED lights, I've used both of them. They work great. And I go with the GVM brand. Let's see if I can pull it up one more time for you. That's what I have here. My new lights that I can control with my phone. So these are $300. I'm sure you can find some that are less expensive than that. But when I come back full screen again, now that I've got the green screen, things may be a little funky, but again, I can still make it brighter from my phone here, just by adjusting the buttons here. I can change the temperature, so I can make it bluer or cooler or warmer and yellower. Is that a word? And I've also got my goofy stuff, but that totally fucks up the green screen. So I wouldn't recommend that, because when you have that kind of lighting, it's going to really mess with your green screen. So I just set it up, set it and forget it, and then I'm good to go as far as lighting goes. All right, we'll be back again tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern to talk about apps and software for video. And I hope you'll come back or watch the replay. And if you have any questions, email me at vip@loubortone.com.